Hey everyone, Sean Clement here at the gorgeous Royal Quebec Golf Club. I got a beautiful evening going on here, got the place to myself. And today we're going to be looking at your leg work and how we're using the ground to create energy. And, you know, again, static versus dynamic. If you're trying to place the weight, really going to have a tough time. That's why, you know, I see so many chip-yip situations, because you can't only use your arms when your arms are handcuffed in front of you. You have to allow the rib cage to glide out of the way. Well, the rib cage is sitting on the spine, through the spine, inside your pelvis, and that pelvis is sitting on top of your hips. The hips are the femur. The femur is half of your knee. It's a domino effect, immediate domino effect. So I'm just letting my arms swing freely in both directions. And notice how my rib cage and pelvis is being carried by my legs. And so whether I'm snapping a punch or skipping a stone, there's how I engage my kinematic sequence, my kinetic chain. So you're already wired for this incredible feat. We threw a lot of stuff at our food for a lot of time, or a lot of years, okay? So if I'm taking this and I'm sending it like a little horseshoe and I'm gonna heave it out there like I'm bowling, notice if I wanna heave it further, see how I'm using the ground to heave it out there? So if I do the same thing with this nice 4-pound hammer, there's how I'm using the ground. Heave it out there. And if I'm using a nice medicine ball, same thing. Heave, heave, heave. You're always using your legs to do that. Well, one arm is 9% of your body weight times 2 plus a club. For a 200-pound person, that's 40 pounds worth of arms. And if I want to take that and throw it that way, well, I'm going to have to use my legs. So that's why at address, your glutes and your quads have to be engaged to apply pressure to the arches of your feet so that you can throw the swing in the direction that you want to go. So let's say I got my 7-iron here. And you remember the simple act of cutting grass. So I'm going to cut my rows of grass. Well, guess what? Here we go. Cut, 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 cut. Look how precise those rows are. I'm just focusing on the rows, and you're seeing my head bouncing up and down. Well, yeah. When you go to a concert and you're coming out, you see a sea of people walking in front of you, all you're going to see are bobbing heads. That's how we operate with gravity. So I'm going about my merry way with an absolute easy task, cut rows of grass, and my brain says, oh, I can feel the weight of that arm club unit right now, and I know exactly where to step to cut your next row of grass. And I know exactly how much to flex the knees and how much to clear to get through. So a simple act like this and your 12 million bits of information going through your automated system are going to be beautifully executed. So I've got my rows of dandelions. There's 3 wonderful dandelions with one club head between each of them. My brain sees where the club is passing, and here we go. Cut, cut, cut. All 3 beautifully pasted, lovely ball flight just landing right now. And that was so easy to do and so easy to flush, because now that my arm club unit is swinging like a rail from the shoulder sockets down, my brain knows exactly how much to step. See that? So when I'm in my follow through coming back up, the weight is now on the left side, the weight comes off my right foot, now I can take a step. Now my brain uses the ground, gets my body out of the way so I can cut through the grass. Now it uses the ground again, gets my body out of the way to use, to cut through the grass. So if I start to make sure, be careful, watch out, manipulate my arms and club to meet the ball, you cancel and put the wrench in that system. So if you're a surgeon getting ready to make a very, precise suture in somebody's finger, well, your body's going to be a very stable statue so that you can make these wonderful manipulations. If you're sitting at the table getting ready to cut through your steak, why are you sitting? Well, because it immobilizes your body and allows you to make manipulations with your arms and hands to cut through your steak. So a lumberjack, however, remember that? There's my tree, got my axe. I'm never going to do that. So whether you do it on one leg or two legs, you remember the one leg drill? Well, for those of you having trouble with the one leg drills because you're trying to be way too precise, you can't just freeze your legs there and you're going to hit yourself twice. So arm club unit goes this way, butt goes that way. How does the butt go that way? You gotta release the legs. You're now using the legs to come up. Then the brain says, well, we're gonna cut through the dandelion stem, so we gotta go back and get the ground. It knows how to do that. And then you're gonna cut through the grass in the direction of your target. So, gather, cut through. There you have it. Beautifully straight shot. Landing about now. What about one leg? Same thing. See how I'm letting that hang? Center of gravity comes in, out of the way. See how I come up to gather. Then my brain goes back down to load and then comes back up into my finish because I'm going over that way. So, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up. See the power I can get from that? So routinely, and if you want me to put this on the GC quad in my next session, I'll be happy to. Routinely, that 7-iron is 180 on one leg and 300 yard plus with the driver. It is the tightest margin I can go. So we gather. Hear that sound? That was pasted. Still in the air, just landing now. So this is where I can really gather some massive range of motion and effortlessly take it through. And that's where you're going to see the squat. That's why Rory gets those prodigious distances, because you watch him squat. He's also, he's pretty built, right? So he's working hard. He's got some good tone, nice fast twitch muscles, but you can really see his squat and his downswing. Same with Tiger and same with all the top players. So this downward squat is the gathering of that kinetic chain. We're going to the ground to use the ground to go that way toward the target. So for those of us who don't have the flexibility or the body that's young enough, and by the way, at age 25, so many of the bodies out there are breaking down because there's way too much resistance in those bodies. So when they gather, they're trying to resist, and then they're going to get to the ground and fire. A lot of stuff can go wrong. So you come up and out of the way so you can come back down. It's like Bruce Lee getting ready to finish his opponent. He's not going to do that. He's going to come up so we can crush down. Same thing. Come up so we can crush down and go to the target. But so many of you are looking at this going, oh my God, he's going up and down with his head. That's full of crap. He's going to hit it fat or hit it thin. It has nothing to do with anything. It's my body getting what it needs to cut the grass out there. And it's a gravity flipping genius. So we got to stop trying to nip and tuck our bodies. As soon as we start to manipulate, well, those of us who don't have the athletic ability of a Jason Day are never going to cut the cheese. So you allow your body full freedom to perform the task that you ask it to do. Cut some grass. Go look at my video entitled Weight Shift Walking, all right? So there's weight shift and walking in the title with Sean Clement, and you'll see me walking and cutting grass. For those of you who are on the premium channel, go see the walking drill. Super important drill. So you saw me, how I did it with every discipline. You look at a hammer throw in the Olympics, you look at so many things, so many disciplines, you're going to see this. A person on a swing, loading the swing. So I feel the weight of my arm club unit. I'm using the weight of that arm club unit to perform my task. And when my body feels that weight, it knows what to do with it. Just give it the right task, okay? All the best. We'll see you next week.